So we're heading up to the Til-Two club because we're about to be models. You're a model. I'm a model now-ish. I mean, I'm gonna hand model. It's gonna be really fun. Bar models. We're great in bars.
This is our new sponsor, the Til-Two Club.
You okay there?
I'm good. I'm really good with these. See them?
Yeah, we see them. What does the red bottoms mean? You pay too much?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Rhythm and Booze with Mikey Nikki. I'm
you
Mikey.
said it right this time.
But then you fucked it up.
And I'm Nikki.
And we've been drinking already. This is a podcast where we talk about all sorts of topics. Because of our lives, we intersect with Lindy Hop, swing dancing, burlesque, anything we happen to be interested in that week.
Yeah.
And we sometimes have interviews and guests, and we talk about things that whatever we feel like. I know I wrote it down.
You did write it down. We have really, really good notes.
I forgot the last
No, but we want to talk to other creatives about their COVID pivots and the way that they've, found a way to make it through the last year that has been, a challenge for all of us creative types.
And for those of you watching on the video, you can see we're not at Nikki's house. We are somewhere different. We are at the Til-Two Club. And we'll get more into that a little bit. And you can probably see a little sneak peek back here on the mirror somewhere.
Totally. So catching up.
We
are heading towards the green tier now, which is like the green light. It's to reopen.
Green means go.
Green means go. Like we're back.
Our Supreme Leader Gavin Newsom.
Supreme Leader. No.
The Gavinator. No. Of course not.
We do call him the Gavinator, though.
Gavinator, yeah. He said it the other day. He said it. Oh, let's do one more thing before we go on. There we go. Cool.
I'll cut that. Good.
He said go. He said by June, we're going to be fully open. That means like we can go back to movies. We can go to malls. We can do everything. Everything will be back to open. Like 100%, maybe some mask mandates still, but that's
I like that you went to movies and malls. I'm thinking more like dancing and concerts.
I'm an Orange County boy. I was like, I need my movies and malls.
I need a Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Not even for the cheesecake. I just wanted it for the bang bang chicken and shrimp.
You're hilarious. We'll cut that right there.
Oh, we're not cutting.
The problem is that
we're not cutting.
We drank too much beforehand.
We're not cutting. We're definitely not cutting. Don't worry about that. Which means dancing, right? And that means Atomic Ballroom can fully open almost all the way.
Yeah, starting on April 19th, we're bringing group classes back to Atomic Ballroom.
Yeah,
finally.
That's going to be super interesting. For those of you who don't really know this, Nikki owns Atomic Ballroom with Shaysha. And the thing is that's a social dance ballroom. Like, the thing is that everybody dances together. So, like, yes, we can have solo dance classes, and they're great. They're amazing. But what makes the Atomic Ballroom so incredible and special is the idea that you can actually socialize and be with and connect with somebody on a new level of dancing like that. And so group classes are a huge part of that, and that is...
And not COVID safe. At all. So
I mean,
it's been a year, since we've had group classes. We had Inspiration Weekend that happened the first weekend of March.
Right.
And then the week later, we were completely shuttered.
Yep.
And we did try group classes when we opened back in the early fall.
Yeah, early fall, late summer, and we tried it for a little bit, and they went okay, but it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't the thing that's gonna help us get through everything. And then after about 2 months of that, we had to shut it down. Numbers got really high. I think in general, we learned a lot by doing that administratively. And
Yes, we
now,
did.
Now we're coming back.
What not to do.
Yeah, and we're going to have masks, and we're going to do our best to keep it as safe for not only just the teachers and staff, but for all the students and customers coming through Atomic Ballroom.
Yeah, and we're coming back with a full schedule. So every night of the week, there'll be all the dances that you're used to having with some new changes.
Yes.
That we haven't announced yet, but
Yeah.
they're really exciting changes. I think,
For sure.
we've talked before about coming back to the new normal and being more progressive and more inclusive, and some of these new things will include that, and I'm really excited about it. So we'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
But also,
What else is coming back, Nikki?
this Sunday, Muse is back, and we have 2 live and in-person shows outdoors, and they're both sold out, and I'm so excited.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun. Again, this whole thing, this ex-boyfriend that won't go away called COVID-19 just needs to die already, because Muse needs to come back, and it's just so much fun because we also did we did a trial run in October and November. One at Atomic, one at the Copper Door, and they went really well. And people were really respectful of their space, really respectful of the rules we put in place. Masks and stuff and such things like that. But this time it's going to be just a little bit more, because it's like a little more freeing and people are vaccinated, and I think it's going to be like a relief, a feeling of like, oh, this show is finally here, like something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. When we came back before in November, there was still that feeling in the air, like everybody was still really nervous, even though we were outside.
Well, that was like the couple days before we shut down again.
It was starting to get really bad, but now there's like this relief that we're feeling from all around, in that even though we can increase the capacity, we're still keeping the capacity kind of on the lower side, being a little bit more conservative. So it's really nice that we can sell out those shows. But yeah, I think this is the start of like us ramping back up, getting back into shows, and then maybe in a month or 2 we'll be back inside, which would be crazy, but amazing.
It's crazy to think. I have like weird nervous anxiety about that, like being close to people indoors again. But like at the same time, it's like, it's fine, everything's fine.
It makes me think about how crowded backstage is.
Oh my gosh,
more
I know,
than
right?
anything. Like, how are we going to expand that?
I don't know, but I can't wait to be in a bar again. And speaking about being in bars again, like we said at the beginning, we're in the Til-Two Club. Til-Two Club. Oh God, that's got to happen a lot, right? Like the TT.
Pretty much every time I say it, I have to check myself.
We're in the Titty Club.
The TT Club. We are in.
Go ahead.
This is going great. The Til-Two Club in San Diego. And they're our new sponsor for Rhythm and Booze. Hey. And we're here, and we're live and in person, and we have a live and in-person interview with an amazing entrepreneur, producer, performer, just all-around boss, a woman after my own heart. Dottie Deville is with us today.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome to our little podcast show.
Yeah. Welcome to Til-Two Club.
Ooh, yay.
We are so happy to be here, and we're all vaccinated.
Yes. Like over the 2 weeks, like all that stuff. So anybody saying some shit, go fuck yourself.
The bar is closed. It's just us here, and we're all vaccinated. And your husband is also here.
Yes.
Who's also vaccinated.
He's in the background. You can see him.
If you can see him in the mirror, he's
making us
There he
drinks.
goes.
Perfect.
Hi, man.
So thank you for coming, and this is amazing. Not only did you just appear, but all these amazing candy-like drinks have appeared.
I know.
That you made.
You guys looked thirsty, so I had to make sure that.
Parched. Tell us what do we have here? What are we drinking?
Okay, so this is our Til-Two Thai. It is a play on the 1944 version of the Mai Tai. Just a classic, no frills there. On the menu, we say 1944 version, don't fuck with the classic. So that's that.
Perfect. It's so freaking good.
And then here we have our One Last Caress. It is, pretty much it's an absinthe daiquiri. So it's very boozy. It's 2 ounces of absinthe. lime, simple, and it has rose water in it and also dried rose petal teas right on top.
It's beautiful and it's delicious.
And
so good.
we have a limit of 2 on the menu because it will.
I see why.
It'll get you.
I should keep sipping on it, right?
Yeah, right. And then we have a house favorite right here. This is our little gimlet. It's a play on a gin gimlet with our favorite gin, Empress. It's a beautiful indigo color.
It's so beautiful.
We love slamming those here.
It's really, really tasty.
And then this guy, this tall one, this is our little Saigon Sling. It is another riff on a Singapore sling, but we are in the middle of City Heights, but in the heart of Little Saigon. So we wanted to, do a little homage to our neighbors and all the Asian businesses around here. So, yeah.
Oh, that's
And then
nice.
we made some fresh pressed watermelon juice the other day, and I wanted to use it. So I am drinking watermelon juice and Empress gin and lime. And it's
Love
delicious.
it.
And
Yeah,
now I'm
it's
thinking it
also
needs to be
pretty.
on the menu.
We had a shot of that earlier because we were taking too many shots earlier, which is why we're so giggly.
Yes.
Yes. We came in early today and we did a photo shoot
Yes.
for your bar.
Yes. I'm very excited to see those.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
for doing that.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait. And I've always wanted to work with
Susana.
Susanna,
Sue.
Her too.
Susan.
Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great.
amazing.
If you don't know, Vestige Photography.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the comments down below to make sure you guys can all see that.
Yes, for sure. So this is I don't know, it's a historic building. This bar was originally a Til-Two,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So the bar was established in 1942 as Til-Two Club by a husband and wife. I don't even remember his name, but her name is Bernice. And they ran it for quite a while. And it's changed a few times over the years. It has been Til-Two Club. It's been, let's see, the Playhouse, Beauty Bar,
Oh, wow.
which a lot of people know Beauty Bar from like the Vegas location and all around town,
Okay. Yeah.
all around the U.S. I mean, so that was, it was Beauty Bar in the early 2000s, and then it changed back to Til-Two Club. And when we got into the bar, let's see, May 14th, 2019, we decided that we wanted to keep the history of the bar. So we were going to keep the name, and we
Love
were
it.
just going to dig up all of the history we could find and make it it was already a historic location, but really
Yeah.
play on it being a historic location in San Diego.
Oh, I love it.
And all of like the weird things that have happened here
Oh, tell
through
us.
the generations
What has
and
happened here?
decades.
Yeah.
Well, our good friend Matt Farrell, he's a history librarian. So he just like dug everything up about this bar. Everything.
Love it.
We were actually, he was one of the first people to find out that the bar was actually originated in 1942 and not 1948, which everybody thought.
Okay.
So
6 years unaccountable for.
well, it was weird times, you know.
Yeah.
The license was drawn up in 1942, and that's when the bar originally started. Throughout that, there's been some interesting deaths here. It's still, is it a murder? Is it an accident? Nobody knows with Bernice.
Crazy.
She hit her head at her gift shop right up the street, and she fell on carpet. But for some reason, her head was smashed, like totally
crazy.
smashed in. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, your husband killed you.
Yeah. Obvi. It's always
Obvi.
the husband,
Yeah.
right?
But,
In
you
this
know,
documentary.
my attorney husband is like, allegedly. So, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So, murder, maybe. This in the 60s, there was a very weird law in San Diego and actually LA, where you could have topless go-go dancers. And this was about for 6 months. it was a very gray law, and everyone got around it in bars. So this was a topless go-go dancing bar, and that's why I have this.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, very interesting. Steakhouses, piano bar, it's all here.
Really
Rich
fun?
history.
What's really fun is like we love watching these like paranormal investigation shows. You know, like
Yes.
Zach Baggins.
Yes.
And like I swear, like let's just start sending emails over to him, and be like, come to the Til-Two Club.
So every once in a while, I'll just log into the cameras, and this is when we're closed, and I swear I see orbs and stuff. But then I try to convince myself it's like a spider web or a little fly or something.
You know what's really funny too is like that. Like on TikTok, there's this trend, and whatever. I'm an old man. On TikTok is a trend where like you do a certain filter and you're like you can see ghosts and stuff, and like sometimes there's some creepy shit. Like we'll definitely do that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you some shit. Like, we just saw one the other day. There was like some dude in a Tesla.
Yeah,
was,
he
like,
went to a
rolling around
graveyard in a Tesla.
And a Tesla can sense when there's people around. Like it's got sensors, so you can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
And so he was like rolling around, and you could see like there's a bunch of people, but there was no one around.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
And even like a person on a bike.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's coming for me. And he was like freaking out.
Yeah.
This is crazy. We're doing
Yeah.
I
it.
know.
Yes.
If anybody needed a reason to get a Tesla, that
Yeah.
would be
Anybody
one.
have a Tesla? We're at the Til-Two Club.
Just drive it on in.
Yeah. Totally.
So just like Atomic, we've been kind of in the same sense. Like the bar has been closed, open closed. Like both.
Yeah.
This year or the past year, whatever. It was rough. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed.
Yeah.
I think the longest we were open is right now, 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
This is week 4. Yes. And we were open like 2 weeks and shut down, and then 3 weeks and shut down. So I don't see us closing down. I see us just staying open, and then, we're in orange tier. San Diego's in orange tier as of today.
Okay.
So I just see it getting better.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You were one of the first people that I saw start to like get the word out, like we're being safe, we're doing, because we had our Inspiration Weekend, I think, was the same time I saw you. You had all your cleaning products.
Oh my gosh.
On the bar, and you did a video about
Yes.
how you're cleaning and taking precautions, and it's the first person. You're the first person I saw do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's the same time we're like running our event, being like, should we be canceling this event right now? There's hundreds of people here. What do we do?
Yeah.
Bunch of hand sanitizer and whatnot.
Yeah, we were, of course, freaking out. And that video, I told my husband, I was like, we have to do this. We have we had a metal show here that night. And people were calling us asking if we were canceling the show. And at that point, we didn't really understand what was happening, and San Diego wasn't really shut down yet, and we were just like, we're still allowed to be open. Like San Diego was still allowed to be open, and
So like March.
right, and nobody else was
March.
closing down. So I was just, we just did the best we could.
Yeah.
We got all the cleaning supplies, and then we found out that we were going to be closed the following Tuesday, which I think was like 3 days later. But that was after our show that night.
Right.
And surprisingly, it was a pretty busy show.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to conversations because, of course, like, as an owner, you're just like, am I making the right decision?
Right.
I specifically remember this woman coming in and she's like, oh, well, you saw their video. Like, I feel safe in here. Everything's fine. I was like, oh, shit. This is so interesting.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a thing? And it's a fucking thing.
It's
a
a
year
thing.
later,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a thing.
Like after the past year, like watching your video and watching other businesses do their own little videos, like someone walking in and doing the hand sanitizer, no contact, all that stuff. Like not saying it's a bad thing, but like it's everybody had to prove it in that way.
Right.
And in one part, it's like, yes, we are taking these precautions and we're taking these steps. Patrons feel comfortable coming here, hopefully.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, please don't shut us down. Like, we're doing the right things, we promise.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That weekend at that event at Atomic, I put up signs in the bathrooms that said, wash your hands, you filthy animals. Just
you know
the
that's
movie
right.
reference,
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, this woman came up to me that was having a private lesson in the studio. And she was like, you know, that sign in the bathroom is really offensive. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. It was like a joke.
We didn't even know it's still up.
Yeah, I put that up a year ago. I didn't even know it was still
wow.
there.
That was really funny.
Oh, it was so funny. It cracked me up. But yeah, and you know, at that time, we were all like, okay, let's make light of this. We're taking it seriously, but at the same time, we want you to come enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, it was a very interesting time a year ago. Yeah. A little more than a year ago.
More than a year ago.
Yeah.
But I feel like through all of this, I feel like I've seen you pivot in all of these amazing ways whereas you had a service that you could provide by giving people something they wanted.
Booze. One thing.
Yeah.
Like Nikki said earlier, like a woman after her own heart.
Yeah. But, you know, as partner dancers, like we didn't have something that we could give to people. We didn't have, you know, this. So we definitely struggled for a long, long time figuring out what we could do, you know, to pivot. Because there's live streams and whatnot, but people weren't really into them so much. But you had booze fairies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell us what a booze fairy is.
It's me and my husband. You know, when everything got shut down, the Restaurant Coalition really sprung into action. Totally. I will say that there is no bar coalition. People say that there is, but it's bullshit. All bars are against each other, and I'll get into that later. But
love it.
This Restaurant Coalition just pounded the pavement, and they're like, you have to do something to keep these independent bars and restaurants alive. You need to revisit your regulations and laws. And luckily, my husband's an attorney, so we were able to just like really stay on top of it. And when I'm reading those regulations, it's just like, what? You know, I swear I know how to read, but you know, he reads it and he's like, this is what we can do. These are the laws, you know, this is what we can do.
Yeah.
So we, in the beginning, you were not allowed to serve to-go drinks without food. And we didn't want to bring food in. This is a rock and roll music venue, dive bar. Like we're not doing food.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, we were like, we don't want our cocktails just leaving the bar and you not having an experience. This bar is more of like sitting here and having an experience with your bartender or your fellow like patrons or whatever. So we were reading the rules and we were like, it doesn't say anything about turning yourself into a liquor store. Let's become this curated liquor store and offer delivery service. And it's first started out like, I was like, I don't know if this is legal. Like, I'm a little scared. Like, I seriously. And I just like sent it to a few friends, like this list that we have. It's called the Liquid Stimulus List. And it's just this list of like 500 different liquors that like rare stuff that we were able to get. And I was like, hey, if you guys want to buy anything, like it's really going to help us out. And that Google Doc was shared through like so many channels and people. And it became this giant thing where we were delivering every Friday and Saturday. And we have deliveries on Friday, like of this week. Yeah. So people are still ordering. And somehow like somebody was like, oh, this was the nicest little fairy delivery. And I was like, oh my God, we're booze fairies. Yes. We're doing it. So that's how it happened. Imagine. And I mean, we've been delivering 54 weeks now.
Wow.
We've put over 20,000 miles on the Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
It's been crazy, but it's the only thing that has gotten us through a year. Wow. So thank you to everyone who has, ordered through us because we would have been closed down a long time ago.
So what is the most popular drink that people order? Is there one?
It's bottles. It's like bottles.
I mean, which bottle?
We have a pretty extensive rum list here. So people have gone crazy with our rum options.
Of course, because it'll be like the tiki drinks.
Yeah. Right? And lots of rare rums and whiskeys. That unless you're like a collector, you wouldn't really know about. So
I definitely have admired your whiskey as I'm looking at it right now. I like that one. I like that one. I like that. I don't know that one.
It's kind of it's an interesting back bar for a dive bar because we have, I mean, I'll be very honest, we have a really good back bar.
Yeah.
So, and our prices are fair because when Matt and I got the bar, we were like, hey, what do we want to drink and what do we want to pay for it? You know,
Yeah.
like I'm so sick of going
Right, that's
to
amazing,
bars
yeah.
and paying like $18 for a drink. And then now knowing the cost of things, I'm like, well, you know, yeah, we're not making $1 or $2 more, but they're going to buy another round, you know, and they're
Yeah.
going to stay longer and they're going to bring their friends.
Right.
So we might not be like rolling in dough, but we have customers in here every day. So
Yeah, that's amazing. So you mentioned before that you're a rock and roll bar, and I know you do live music. Tell us a little bit about that, and I'm sure that's been, you know, a challenge too through all of this. Have you been doing any live streams or anything like that?
yeah. Well, we tried the live stream thing. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I was over it. Like, I was just over it.
Exactly,
We, you know, we had to hire, because we are not tech people here. All right. So
Yeah.
we had 2 of our regulars, are really great, good regulars, come in who are techie people, and they ran the Twitch account for us. But then we had to hire our sound guy to come in, and then we had to hire a videographer to come in, and I was like, what are we doing here? Yeah. And at first we were just doing it for bands, so any tips that came in we just gave them straight to the band. And it worked out for a while, but I don't know, after like 6 or 10 of them, I was just like, this is fucking dumb.
Yeah,
so
it's
much
hard.
energy,
It's so much energy.
work.
So much promotion, so much goes into it, and it was the same thing at the studio. We tried doing like a full run of classes on the schedule, and then we were also having an admin and a moderator to like switch camera angles and do this whole thing. It became so much more trouble than it was worth. Yeah.
And I mean, the bands were thankful, you know, they got some tips and got some like burrito money, which was great, you know. But the end of it was just like, I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at the same time, like, people started to like withdraw from that because like it was super cool, like this new thing and Zoom and being all interested in that idea of live streams in like in an accessible way.
Yeah.
But then you could see it slowly dip off,
And
then
everything is on Zoom, and you're just like, I don't want to be in a fucking like on a
exactly.
screen.
Exactly, exactly. And we talked about it forever. Like, how do we get that interaction, that social feeling? Like you said, like being here at the bar and having an experience with your bartender or other patrons, and in the dance world, it's like, how do you have that connection without actually touching somebody? So it's like you try to see everybody, but then there's a person for that to like change channels and move around.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Way too much work.
My mom, when we were first starting to when everyone was first starting to do Zoom, she runs a bunch of campuses around the U.S. And she was like, fuck. What? So she runs a school of medicine, Eastern medicine, so lots of acupuncture and herbs. And
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
she was like, how are these students? I mean, if you're in school to do that, you have to touch your patient,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
It's like, how are they supposed to treat these patients? She ended up doing a Zoom with over 200 students. And she was like, that was the worst experience.
Put it on mute. No.
Yeah.
Mute. I can hear your bathroom.
Yeah. She's like, are the booze fairies delivering right now? I'm like, yeah, Mom, I got you.
Oh my god.
It delivered right now.
Yeah.
So with San Diego in the orange tier, are you going to be having live music again, or
No.
is that still a ways off?
It's still a ways off.
Yeah.
You know, orange tier means we can open up to 50%. Our capacity here is 188, which is a lot for this venue. We technically, yesterday we were in red. We could have had 47 people in here. That seemed like too much for us. Now we can have even more. We're going to probably limit it to about 40 people and see how it goes. However, we're still doing DJs. We're thinking about doing some, which is crazy because this would never happen in the before life, but we're thinking about doing some acoustic stuff.
Oh, I like it. Maybe.
I don't know what that's like.
I know, my husband. Like, not like singer-songwriter kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like blues,
Oh, that's cool.
That'd be
jazzy.
cool. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. for
Yeah,
sure.
that would be awesome.
I think something. A lot of people out there. I might be touching on a sensitive subject, but I'm gonna go for it. I think a lot of people out there are sensitive about this whole thing about the pandemic, as they should be, and like as we are. But like that sentiment right there is to go to show that small business owners and business owners in general are thinking both ends. They're thinking like, how do we keep ourselves safe, but also still continue making a living and providing for ourselves, our families,
And our
everyone around us,
community,
and our
yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just the ability to try. Like you gotta try something, or else if you feel stagnant, like that goes against every entrepreneurial feeling inside of you that goes like, I need to move on.
We need to be
move
doing
forward.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's clear to me that as long as we're giving the okay by people that we trust, as much as we can, then we try a little bit at a time,
Yeah.
a little bit at a time, and hope for the
Yeah,
best.
feel it out as we go. Yeah.
I mean, June 15th is apparently when everything is going to be
green tier.
reopening, green
Yeah.
tier. And when we found that out, I looked at Matt and I was like, oh shit, we need to start booking. We not like,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
get emails all the time, touring bands and
Yep.
stuff. And we're like, whoa, that is way quicker than we thought it was going to be. And it's like a good thing and a bad thing,
Yeah.
We're really excited to get bands back in here and have it be a music venue again. But at the same time, we still like want to be cautious about how
Totally.
people feel.
Yeah.
I think it's all about, we're just gonna have to do it and see what happens.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you'll figure, well, I think
Figure
all
it
of
out.
us, we'll figure it out as we go, and
Yeah.
like we'll see how the customers feel when they
Not
come
like
in.
anyone has ever done this before.
I
Like,
know.
like
Yeah, we're all just figuring out as we go,
And I think
hoping
that's like-
for the best.
Yeah, that's the thing is like obviously we're doing it with the best intentions.
Right.
Like, it's like yes to make a living, but also at the same time you got to try something for people to have fun. Like what I've noticed, not necessarily as a business owner, but as like a acquaintance of being close to people that I know, like even my family as small business owners. Like you just got to keep trying. You gotta keep going, or else you just feel like dead inside, and that's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
on
Obviously.
on Saturday, this past Saturday, we had a DJ in here, good dude, rad music, and this woman was calling. We don't do reservations here. This is like, there ain't no bottle service, like you're not.
Reserve a booth.
She was like, can I reserve a booth? Can I? And Matt emailed her back and he was like, this is when we open. You can come in at any time. Like,
Yeah.
I reserved a booth once for my mother and I'll never do that again. So like she came in, she was saying it was her first time out with her and her husband. The kids were at home and she just wanted to like have a good time.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, that was red tier. You were not allowed to dance.
Oh.
And she was like begging me
Oh, no.
to let her dance. And I was like, look, you can dance your way to that bathroom. And you can dance your way back to the bathroom. And if it takes you a little bit longer to get to your seat and to that bathroom door with your mask on, what am I supposed to say to you?
Yeah.
And of course, it's like a few drinks. She's like,
Right.
I have to go to the bathroom. And I was like, you have to go to the bathroom. Like,
Ring the bell.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want to look at that photo over there? Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna look up? And she finally
so
got it.
funny.
And she was like, she was a nurse too. And she was telling me like
See?
all these things. I was like,
Frontline worker.
yeah.
Yeah.
She had her mask on. She did her little dancing. She was happy.
Oh, I love
And
it.
she left
Amazing.
in her husband's arms later
Oh,
that
no.
night.
Perfect.
It's a good night out.
Like all those little things like that, like experiences we've all had in the past year, are going to go down in our history. Like
Yeah.
our own self. Like,
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
tell stories of like the next generation of people, whoever. Bar stories like that.
Yeah.
It can be so amazing. Like, during the
Pandemic stories. Yeah, exactly.
Drive-by birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
big thing.
That was
I
a
tell
big
my
thing.
kids all the time, like, do you know you're living history right now?
And they're like, ew, mom.
They're like, shut up,
And then
mom.
back to Minecraft.
Yeah.
Speaking of entertaining things, this place also holds a really close place for us because it was in general San Diego and stuff that you do because we went down to Dynasty like right before.
Oh, yeah, February.
Yeah. February, yep.
exactly. And then also
Wow,
there was
I didn't
a
even think
show
about that.
here. The
Oh, yeah.
You
and I
performed it.
performed
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was cool and that was amazing. That was the first time to the club.
Yes.
And that was super fun. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
I
was like,
loved-
this is my place.
I love your Dynasty show or your Drop Dead Dames
Yeah.
shows.
We are hoping to bring those back. As you guys know, large production shows
Yeah.
are costly and just a lot of work.
Yes.
And you know, 6 months. We're crazy. My co-producer and I, Sassy Stiletto. We start planning these 6 months in advance,
Totally.
and we only do 2 a year. So as soon as one
Right.
ends, we just start planning, and
Yeah.
really that's how long it takes to just like make sure everything is in order. But we are excited to do it again.
No,
Yeah.
it was amazing for me because like I had only been to like a few burlesque shows, mostly in bars like this, mostly at Muse, and then like I got Burlesque Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
like, that
Well,
view
that's
and-
like-
yeah, exactly. So like I was like I saw the top and I saw like the mid range and then I saw you guys and I was like, this is what it should be like. This is what it used to be like. This is what it feels like. And I was like so impressed. Like I remember.
Well, we
also-
had the best time
the two
because
times, because we went 2
Yeah,
times before.
we went two times.
We went the one right before the shutdown.
Okay.
And then we went one the year before.
the year before, yeah. But the one before shutdown, we sat at Francesca's table.
Yes.
And
Oh,
we
you guys
had-
were in the VIPs, like the
Yeah.
big boy
Yeah,
VIP
and
section.
we had
Oh, yeah,
the
we were
best time.
big
We
time.
played a whole murder mystery game.
Yeah.
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 For the show, and we just had the best time. So you
Absolutely.
all create this experience for people that they come in, and it's so much more than just a show.
Thank you. That was really the whole idea with
Yeah.
those shows. And OGD, the original Dottie, she was like, you got to do something better at these shows. Because, you know, we all started at, you know, dive bar
Right.
shows. And,
Yeah.
stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. And when we thought we were doing like these really glamorous shows, she came to one. She was an old showgirl, burlesque girl too. She was like, this isn't what it used to be. And I was like, wow.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's like, you got to go bigger. You got it. The stage higher. The curtains better.
Yeah.
The music louder.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting lipstick all
No,
over
that's
your
fine,
mic.
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Don't worry about it.
So yeah,
That's the cool thing about legends. Like in our
they're
swing-
dicks.
Yeah. I mean, to put it bluntly, yes, because like they're just like
They lived
so much
it,
knowledge.
yeah.
They lived the original version of
Yeah.
it. And like holy shit. But also at the same time, you could have said it nicer.
yeah. I'm like, give me some money then,
Yeah, yeah.
Graham.
Yeah.
Like, you want to produce the shows?
That's exactly what we have in our swing dance Lindy Hop world. Like these legend dancers who like originated the
Yeah.
dance and like originated the dance. of,
So
like, burlesque and
cool.
everything. It's
Yeah.
so amazing.
They're like,
And-
show me something.
Yeah, show me something.
You're
We're
like,
we're like, I did that before.
Yeah.
You know, like
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you only do that this fast. Like,
Yeah.
how dare you? Or like you do it slower than that.
Whoa.
Especially being in LA, there was a lot.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to call them old timers.
Right.
We're trying to get away from that. We're trying to call them legends a little bit more,
Yeah.
which is like
OGs.
a node to
Yeah.
the burlesque scene too, because I feel like they do it really well.
Exactly.
But in the Lindy Hop scene, for so long, they've been the old timers.
Yeah.
But the old timers or the legends would be at these just weekly dances, and they'd see all the kids dancing, and they'd come up and be like, "What's that you're doing?
What is that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like they smell something funny and they're like,
Yeah.
what are you wearing?
What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? Show me something."
So your show, I feel like your show is so big and so amazing. Like the last time I saw it, I saw Mr. Gorgeous.
Yes.
And
That was
you
the first
bought
time-
his shorts.
And I bought his shorts.
They're great.
I still haven't worn them yet because everything shut down, so I couldn't wear them.
Oh, that's
Still had
true.
planned to
Yeah.
wear them today, but I forgot.
You were gonna stand up and like have tearaway
Yep.
pants.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mr. Gorgeous's pants.
Sorry, it's not filled out. Anyway.
No, but I love that you have legends as a part of your show too.
Yeah, that was the whole
Yeah.
dynasty. We wanted a queen, a king, and a legend, and it's getting harder with
Yeah.
the legends. We've had several legends who, day of or a couple days before had to back out for health reasons, or they were just tired. And it's like, I get it. Yeah. I understand. It's totally fine. We're pretty fortunate here to have a local legend, Shannon Doa, and she is like she's incredible. That show actually, that show, Tiffany Carter got the flu. No. The show before that. Yes, the dynasty before that, Tiffany Carter got the flu and she just couldn't come down. And we're like, don't worry about it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Called Shannon the night before. And she was like, yeah, I'll be there. No problem. Okay. So you guys have been to this venue, right? It's a larger venue. And we require all the performers to get there like an hour to an hour and a half before. You can come whenever, but like...
Yeah.
Okay. I love you, Shannon. Yeah. So she comes strolling in while doors are open, things are happening. And I'm like, Shannon's gone. She gone.
Oh, no.
We don't know where she is. Sassy's like, she'll show up. And I'm like, where's
I hope
I'm like, we gotta find old broad. Like, not saying you're old, Shannon. I'm just saying we just gotta so I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Shannon comes walking in with her beautiful luggage and her glorious hair. And she looks at Matt Farrell, who's actually working door that night. And she's like, oh, hello, Matt. And he's like, hi, Shannon. Can I take you backstage because you're late? And she was like, I'm not late. Uh-oh. The show will begin when it begins. And I was like, I guess we're starting late.
Yeah.
And she came backstage like nothing. And on stage like nothing. I was like, what?
Like, yeah.
Are you an angel woman? Like, what is this?
Slides in. She floats in and
that's a lesson,
to the stage. Yeah. That's amazing.
She's like, champagne. And I was like, of course.
Of course. What else?
Caviar?
Flowers on the ground?
Yeah. We felt that way when Tiffany Carter was there.
Totally.
I love Tiffany.
Tiffany's great.
So much.
Such a great time.
Yeah. And she came to do Muse and we didn't have the correct version of her song. Like she had sent 2 versions of her song. And she was like, yeah, just let me hear it once. I'm good. And we never saw her tech or anything. And then her song comes on and she comes up and she just floors us with her performance and lives it up she's
professional.
She hasn't ever stopped doing this her entire life. Yeah. And it was so beautiful and so amazing.
I remember that show too because the stage we had at Muse was freshly redone by the owners, and it had a riser of maybe 2 or 3 inches above the normal one, and so it was like a small step. Every performer was like, "Oh no!"
Freaking out with an outlet in the center of it. Yeah,
and they were trying to stage, and they were definitely it was tricky. Tiffany walked on it once, and then that was it. And then she came on stage and just acted like it wasn't even there, and just floated. And Nikki always tells me about this stuff about burlesque dancers. It's it's the way they walk. That's for my dancer terms or my hip hopper terms. Is that's their basic. If their basic if their walk is good, then you know they're going to be excellent. And I was just watching her. I was like, oh yeah.
She's floats.
Yes.
Glides to the stage.
And I was like, oh.
They're incredible.
Incredible. It was amazing.
It's something that's je ne sais quoi kind of a thing that legends have.
Right.
It's the experience.
And you're like, what is that? And how do I buy into it?
You've mentioned the original Dottie.
Yes.
A couple times. Who is the original Dottie?
That's my Nana. Yeah. So that's cool. Nana. She was a crazy lady. She passed. She passed in September, and she was crazy until her dying day. She was a burlesque performer, a showgirl, and that was in Vegas. And then moved here to San Diego and started a band and was a singer down here.
Wow.
And performed here, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was the last outing. Yeah, my cousin actually snuck her out of the house because my dad was like, she shouldn't be going anywhere. And my cousin and I are like, Dad. So she snuck her here. And she was like, "Where's the piano?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, you crazy?" And she was like, "The piano used to be over there." And I was like, "Have you been here before?" And she was like, "Have you been here before?" Like, I've performed here. And I was like,
Wow.
"What?
That's
Why didn't you ever
amazing.
say this to me?"
Yeah.
But she didn't get it. She was like, "Yeah, Til-Two. I don't know what you're talking about." But when she came in, she was like, "Oh, yeah."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was pretty cool.
So this
Yeah.
place is like second home, like this is actual home for you.
Yeah.
So your blood's here.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, I didn't know any of this before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been coming to this bar for years. I had no idea that my grandmother ever performed here
So cool.
as singing. And it all just came out with
Wow.
Matt Farrell doing
Yeah.
the history and then her being here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of a crazy story.
Yeah. That's great to hear. I love hearing stories like
Hold on.
that where it like intersects.
Matt, can I have... I'm very thirsty over here. Can I do a watermelon gimlet, please? With Empress?
Perfect. Good timing.
Oh,
Good
that's
timing.
amazing.
Wanted to talk about one more thing, and I'm gonna just kind of segue into this. Is like again the Dynasty thing is we watched your show, and I remember that show also, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm a little drunk. So you had a brand new costume.
Oh, you did a
Eartha Kitt?
Eartha Kitt.
Oh, it was like very
Act.
draggy. Yes.
I loved it so
yeah.
much.
I don't even know like where that idea came from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the song and I was talking to Matt and I was like, would it be stupid if I like mouth these words? Because you know, as a performer, you're like,
Yeah.
don't move your fucking lips. Like, stop mouthing. Stop doing that.
Yep.
Oh, I got
You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, would that be really dumb? I have to be like exaggerating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I also don't want to be like, I don't, lack of a better word, I guess, like downplaying drag performers,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So I did it in front of a drag performer I know, and they were like, do it. Go for it, because it's not
Aw.
like you are mimicking us or
Right.
like making fun of us. It's your own thing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. What the fuck? I was very,
Yeah.
I don't get stage fright or like nervous.
Right.
I was so nervous for that.
Yeah.
Because if you fuck up the words,
Yeah.
people are going to be like, what is she doing?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I was very nervous about that.
Oh, it was beautiful. And I think this is one of the things I love most about being a producer of shows is that you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
You know? You're like, it's my show. I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you that kind of freedom to play with things that maybe you wouldn't be so comfortable going to another show
Yeah.
and doing. So, yeah, I love that
I
you
think-
take that and run with it.
Thank you. I think for that act too, we had to set up a prop in the background. So we had to have all of the curtains closed.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, there's like this much room, you know, in front of the curtains. And thank you.
What service?
What
This place is
class.
This is an amazing bar.
Yeah, so I remember, you know, doing it in front of the curtains and hearing everybody in the background setting. I forget what prop it was. And then I don't know if you guys saw or if anyone noticed, but of course I did. There's this part where our stage kitten, Mistress Michelle, she puts my martini out and my like elbow or shoulder or something bumped the martini and it like went down my whole back and I'm like,
Oh, no. Definitely did not notice that.
showbiz.
Yeah.
Showbiz,
Yeah,
baby.
Showbiz, baby.
Yep. Classic.
Oh my god!
God.
But that's the thing. I always feel like every performer that I know like has had something like that happen and have stories about that. And every time I'm like, I had no idea. I'm just like watching the pretty person like go across the stage and like own that stage, and I'm just like, yes, of course, I'm with you. And then I hear these stories, and I'm like, we're buffoons. We're crazy people. We're all this crazy shit.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Are you eager to getting back to live performances yourself?
That's funny you ask. I've been thinking about this for a while and I don't know,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because I feel like I've always been on stage and I don't know if I'm ready to like call it quits, but I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I actually really enjoy producing. And I might just do that.
Yeah. Why not?
But
That's the thing about producing your own show is you could always decide to cast yourself.
I know. Sassy and I go back and forth because when this happens all the time, she'll be like, I'm done. This is my last show. And this is that. And I'll go, no. Like, you're not done yet. You're come on. And I do the same thing. This is like the first time I'm like, I don't know.
I've heard that a lot, actually. And I think it's, it's been a year. It's forced us all to kind of question what it is we're doing, why we're doing it. Are we doing what we want to do? And I think it's a good thing to question that. Yeah. Because it kind of forces us to rediscover who we are. And I know I'm questioning myself. Like, I'm going to do this act on Sunday that is like a recreation of an old act, and I'm going to do this newer version of it, but I haven't done it in over a year. And it's kind of like, well, is this still who I am?
Right.
Is this still who I want to be?
Right.
Or where am I going next? Like, so much has changed that it's like I'm kind of the mindset, like, I'm going to do it and then see how I feel.
I think that's where I am too. I just need to like do it, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm back in it, baby. Like,
Just let us know when the next Dynasty show is.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there. You know what's funny too? Actually, just to like cap this off, is that venue you have it at the
Portuguese Hall.
Portuguese Hall.
Oh God, I have a story about that.
I have a story about that too. a couple stories. They're all horrible, and I won't go into them. But like the thing is that is also a place that they were using for swing dances, like in festivals. I mean, there's tons of places like that all over Southern California as well. But I just like she didn't tell me it was there the first time we went, and we were like, I was like, oh yeah, I've been here before. Oh yeah, I've been here. Oh yeah, like all those like, oh, I've been in this bar before. Oh no, oh I've been in this corner before. I was like, oh.
We competed there together.
We competed there at a,
oh wow,
yeah, like years and years and years ago at a Balboa event.
Oh my God,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story.
I'm Portuguese. I convinced my husband and I to join the board at the hall.
Oh, yeah.
And I, this is actually a long story, but it all goes together.
Go for it.
I was like so convinced that I would be voted on the board because of like, I come from a fishing family and my family's still involved with, the Portuguese community and blah, blah, blah. So I got drunk beforehand and my husband like, oops. And
that's always the beginning of a great story. Like,
I know.
I didn't know that they were going to like ask me my life story when they were like, why do you want to join the board? And I was like, I don't even know what I said because I was like also drinking wine there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that year, Matt got voted onto the board, the white man, and I did not.
Oh no.
And my face, I was like, what? And his face was like, what the fuck? Like he was not happy. So he had to do a year of being a board member for this hall that he doesn't really have any association with except for his wife and growing up in that area.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I got voted on finally because I came sober and ready to party.
Playing for this one.
Yes. Like, you guys tell somebody. Jesus. Like, let a lady know. So we were on the board together and I had to sell these burlesque shows as a variety show because is kind of very like religious there.
Right. Yeah.
And but here's the deal, like the hall wasn't making any money. Something needed to happen there on both ends, and it's a beautiful venue. And I was like, you guys, this is a variety show. You can fucking vote on it or not. You can vote on this money or not. You can say goodbye.
Yeah.
And they're like, variety show. And I was like, well, it's a lot of old timers there. And I'm like, well, you know, like singing and dance, cabaret.
Right.
That's right, cabaret.
Yeah,
Especially when you say it like that.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're into it. And I was like, great, killer.
Yeah.
Their first show, I was so nervous something was going to happen. Like some sort of stupid thing where...
They showed up. They were
Yes.
like, let's have tickets up front row.
Yes. Or something would go wrong where there would be some sort of slip.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you guys know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was so nervous. Nothing happened.
Oh,
they made a
good.
lot of money at the bar. Everyone was happy. And we were able to do shows there forever. And every once in a while, like an older Nana or Boo-Boo or something would come up to me and be like, are you the girl doing the shows here? And I'd be like, uh-huh. And I'd be like, we heard they're good. I'm like, yeah, you cannot come. You cannot come to these shows.
You are not invited.
You know, not invited.
Pacemakers, sorry.
Yeah, you cannot. But yeah, it was like a struggle to get them to say yes.
Well, I'm glad they let you.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're,
That
I don't know,
show's
maybe in
amazing.
the future too, but.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They're fine now. I
Oh,
think,
it's great.
you know, the word burlesque scares people.
Yes.
When they don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And our troupe and how Dynasty works, it's very classic. So you're not getting like a lot of like neo music where if for some reason the old generation would come in, they'd be like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So it all worked out. Everyone is happy now.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But what a shit show it was in the beginning.
So you're still on the board.
No. So no, when we got the bar, I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to go. And Matt's like, thank God. Thank God. He didn't even send in a resignation letter. I did.
Yeah, just
And I was like, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
For some reason, in that place though, like all my stories end up in the bar, or like having to be like way too wasted there for like other times, not Dynasty.
Every
But,
story ends up in that bar.
so weird.
Everyone blacks out in that bar. It is like a thing.
There's
That is
been
an
fights
old.
in that bar, right?
Yes. Oh
Like,
yes.
Even in like dance.
At
like,
dance
dance
events,
world,
yeah.
Like oh my god, like they got into it. Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Oh yes. There's this
Yeah.
huge festival called Festa. It's a Portuguese parade, and the stories that happen in that place. It's like
There's ghosts in there for sure.
oh
there's
absolutely.
Totally. Liking the drinks. And I'm like, I had 2 drinks, and I'm like, what is going on?
You get
like,
fucked
yeah.
up in that bar.
and
Yeah.
they're so cheap.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
My favorite
why
too.
I think. Yeah.
Same. You like
Yeah.
have bottled beers and you're like blacked out. You're like, I just had 2. What happened?
even when you don't even drink. Like the first time I ever went there was for a dance festival, and I was like, it was for what was it called again?
Bell Rendezvous?
Yeah, Bell Rendezvous. Balboa dance was really close, and I was going there with a bunch of friends, and I got like sick beforehand because of cats, and I'm super allergic to cats. So I was like, on the way there, I was like, I'm gonna take some Benadryl, and I'll be fine.
Oh, no.
And, like,
No.
I was a baby. I was like 18, 19 years old, and I was like, Benadryl will be fine. Like it's fine. And I took it, and then like I felt funny. I was like, I need to go eat, and I went to go eat, and I came back in with like went to Subway, and I had like with a big cup, and it looked like I was been drinking, and I was still holding the drink, and I was just like wandering my way in.
Oh,
and I
my
was, like,
God.
falling on the corners and stuff, and like,
Oh,
I was so
no.
drunk. I was like, I didn't have anything to drink. I had Benadryl. And they're
That
like,
Benadryl
makes
sneaks
you,
up on you, yeah.
And I
Makes
was
you
like,
drunk.
I had iced tea. It was okay. Oh. So
Yeah.
ever since then, I've played the drunk.
Yeah. It's dangerous, that bar.
It totally is.
And
Yeah.
I feel like my dad and my grandparents and everybody have the same story. Every Portuguese
how
family
funny.
is like, don't get too fucked
Yeah,
up
yeah.
at the hall.
Yeah.
We all know that place.
That's funny.
So you guys both have roots in Vegas then, right?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Nana OGD was there for a little bit, and
My
your whole family.
my grandpa, my grandma. I have a bunch of family there. My grandpa passed away years ago, but my grandma's still there.
And now also Viva.
And Viva.
Viva.
Yeah, it's funny because I find myself drawn to Vegas a lot.
Totally. Oh my God.
same.
Yeah.
And it's not for family. Even though my family is there, it's definitely not for family. But I would like to visit them. It just doesn't work out.
But the lights draw you. You're like moths to the flame.
But
burn
yeah,
outside.
the legend is that my grandpa used to supply cars to the mafia back in the day, and my mom was a cocktail
Yes,
waitress
yes.
there, and Viva's there and Beehoff is there, and I'm going there for my birthday for the first time in forever. Like, I always find myself like wanting to be there. I was born there,
Yeah. We love Vegas. I was trying to convince Matt to buy a house out there, and we have this house now. I love it out there.
Yeah. It's the exact same thing. I feel like a lot of Southern California people are always like, whatever. Like, that's our vacation area. Like, they'll
it's
think
so
about
quick,
buying that.
too. You're like...
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's the same thing. Every time I'm there, I'm just like, this is like a second home. I've been coming here since I was a baby.
Yeah.
And now we were talking before we did the podcast that I was telling you that the last Viva was my first Viva, and how like it was just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first Viva? That's a loaded question. I get it.
Like 13 years ago.
Wow. Oh man. Were you working or was it just going?
No, I just went, and then it was the one year I never worked. My second year, I started working. It's crazy.
What is it that you do at Viva for people that don't know?
Well, most people know that I do the vintage swimsuit contests, which are Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Everybody knows the women's contest on Sunday. That's like the big one. Yeah. But we also do the men's contest on Friday, and then couples contest on Saturday. I love the couples.
Yeah.
I know.
I have to say one thing. One thing that I love that you do with the swimsuit contest is that it's not just about how beautiful the person is, or the couple is. It's about the actual history of the garment that they're wearing.
Yeah.
And I love that so much, because when you're interviewing these contestants, they have to know some kind of history about the swimsuit that they're wearing.
And throughout the years, people have that down. Yeah. Like, I'll be like, I've never seen this print before. What is going on here? I'm like, oh, well, this was a limited edition from 1952, sold in this one Sears marketplace in Minneapolis. And I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
How? And then you look it up. I always look it up. I just want you guys to know this. You guys, you'll tell these stories. I look it up as soon as you guys are off stage, just to see if this is like bullshit or not.
I love it so much.
I love it because it's like an antique roadshow.
I'm like, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you. But I've never caught anyone yet. So
good.
Good on y'all.
She's watching.
Good on y'all. Yeah. Vintage Suits by Mary actually started doing it years and years ago. And then I started working for her just as like helping her out in her booth and stuff. And throughout the years, she had some health problems and she stepped away. And luckily, thankfully, Viva, Tom, and Audrey let me step in and help out and take it over. And then recently they actually, oh my gosh, 2 years ago, that was the last Viva.
Recently.
I was like,
I did the same thing all the time. I was like, the other day. That was last year.
2 years ago. Audrey Deluxe had me do the fashion show. So
nice.
I got to coordinate that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
awesome.
the idea of Viva is not foreign to me because of like other dance festivals.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of people and the amount of live music and the amount of fashion and the amount of like care that actually takes into it, at least from my like outside perspective, I'm sure it's like just like every other festival, like everyone's screaming backstage, I don't know what to do. And then the output is like this amazing thing that happens, and like everybody gets to join in this like mutual memory.
Yes.
And that's what it was for me. Like I can vividly remember all these like being in the pool and watching you up on stage and at the pool, like doing the vintage pageant, and like, this is amazing. This is so great. How did I never want to come here?
Yeah, I feel like has been my struggle for the past 6 years of me going to Viva, because there's a very small group of Lindy Hoppers that go, and they're in the main ballroom in the back. In the left corner,
on the second floor, or
upstairs. The big room.
Yeah.
They're always in the back corner, and they stay in that corner.
Yeah.
And the past, I think, 6 or 7 years I've been going, I've been telling Lindy Hoppers, like, why aren't you going to this event?
Yeah.
It has amazing music. Maybe it's not big band music, but it's amazing live music that we love to dance to.
Yeah.
The most incredible vintage that Lindy Hoppers love.
Yeah.
And so I've been like begging friends, like,
Yeah.
come on, come on, come on. And so finally I got him to come with me.
Yeah.
And he loved it. And he was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get
would've
it
been there
now.
all the time. And I think
Like, really?
one of the best things, two of the best things that happened for me there was the realization that there was a group of all Latin men and women actually on stage singing in Spanish and like feeling that. Like, I'm very proud of my heritage, and like I'm sure you are. I'm sure everyone has their heritage, where they're from. But like I don't often get to see it within my passions of life. And I feel like that moment, I was just like, I remember I was dancing. I was like, this is amazing. Like I can feel my blood boil.
Oh,
in
I
the
love
best
that.
way. And it was like.
That's really special. Tom Ingram.
Yeah.
This is like very special.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I can't forget his name right now because I'm a little bit drunk. But Fat Cat,
Marcos.
Marco, and Fly Right Boys, Big Sandy.
Big
Yeah,
Sam.
They
Yeah.
grew up
Sandy.
on stage together,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god. this
Marcos
is
always
amazing.
blows me away when I see him perform. And I've seen him so many times, but every time I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
There's people who have it and like that thing, that spark.
Exactly.
And it's so great to watch.
It really was, and I was just like blown away by that feeling and seeing on the main stage. And then the other part was knowing that like there's a whole amount of people in Europe, especially, that are dancers, and they're adjacent to our Lindy Hop swing dance community. There's a swing dance, it's called Boogie Woogie, and it's like they're modeled after all of like the white kids that used to do it in America in the 50s. So they call it Boogie Woogie, and they do it really, really fast usually. They also do it slow, but they used to do really, really fast. And they hardcore footwork like crazy, but they danced exactly that music.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so like, and I'm there thinking I'm gonna see somebody, obviously from Europe.
Nobody.
Like,
Yeah.
those dancers, I'm like, they should be here. Like this,
They
this is
should
their
be a
life.
huge part of it. They
Because
would love it.
Wow.
They would love it because they dress the way, like exactly like 50s, early 60s, like late 40s, like all that era. And then they listen to all that music, like they know it by memory.
Yeah.
It's
There's
an amazing thing, and I'm just like always going like boogie woogie dancers. Come
Yeah.
to Vegas.
There's a bunch of European Lindy Hoppers that were always like, you have to come to Viva. You have to come to Viva. You don't
Yeah.
understand. So we've been trying to convince them. Now that I got him on board,
Yeah,
it'll be a little bit easier. But
totally.
man, it's like pulling strings to get Lindy Hoppers to do anything.
Yeah. Our favorite thing, everyone thinks that my favorite thing is the fashion of Viva. It is, but it's not like my top. Our favorite thing is to jump around and see all the new international bands that nobody really like knows about yet. And they're usually in the smaller rooms at like awful fucking times where you're like eating or there's something else happening. And oh God, I think this was like 7 years ago. Matt and I met, which now we're like good friends with them, these crazy Japanese girls. Insane, right? Like insane.
It's always the quiet ones.
They were performing that year. They're called the Pringles.
Aww.
And their husbands are in the band. Husbands and boyfriends are in the band.
How cute.
Brothers in the band, I think. Maybe, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The Pringles from Tokyo.
Oh, I gotta totally look them up.
If they've performed now like 3 times at Viva, if you ever see them on this lineup, do not miss them. And I like bring anybody that
Yeah.
I know. If I'm walking to see them, I
Love
like
it.
grab people to go see these girls because they are crazy on stage. They moshed and like what is it called? Oh my God. What is it called when you like
Stage dive?
yes,
Yeah.
stage dove in crowd surf, yes.
Yeah.
In giant stripper heels. These little tiny things. Oh, they're so tiny. And they jump off the stage. They're like moshing to like 50s music.
Oh,
and
I love
you're
it.
like,
That's
what
amazing.
the fuck is happening? It's 1:00 on a Saturday. What? It's the best time ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love seeing these international bands that are just like so stoked and
Yeah.
give it their all. And you're like,
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So Lindy Hoppers, you hear all this?
Yeah. Boogie Woogie dancers, read in the subtitles because you don't speak English. Well, most you do.
Yes. See you at Viva.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're going to start wrapping it up here. And usually what we do is we have 2 questions that we spring on you. And it's kind of based off of a couple other documentaries and a couple of podcasts that we've seen before. And feel free to answer them as you see pleased. Okay?
As you see pleased.
As you see pleased.
As you
I keep
please.
getting stronger and stronger.
All right.
Okay.
So what is something that you hope sticks after all of this COVID stuff goes away, with the way people are either more empathetic towards other people, or you prefer having less people in your bar, or whatever? What do you hope sticks?
Kindness. I find that there's a lot of like cancel culture out there, but then a lot of people have come out of the woodworks with just being kind. And I don't think that in the past, like with social media and how it's like keeping up with the Joneses, I think that we all forgot how to be humans to one another. I'm starting to cry because it's so important.
No, I'm going to cry and I'm going to cry.
No, because like if people didn't give a shit about us, we wouldn't be here, you know? Like this bar wouldn't, it would be gone.
Yeah.
So it means a lot that like people are just kind now and you see it differently. Like people are more willing to help you or just say like hello or, you know, just a simple phone call or text or even like a merch order like you. Yeah. It's just so incredible. And people, I just think we all lost that for a while.
Yeah.
It's very true.
I love that. I love that.
It's very true. I think the sentiment is completely shared. Like, I feel like just a little bit goes a long way. Like, even the sense, like you said, the text, like some people just reaching out for other people, not just for themselves, but also because the possibility of someone else feeling that way.
Yeah.
Can be like, we can do this together.
Yeah. And instead of just always being like, oh, I got to do this. I have to do this. I'd be better than this person. You know, and I'm very guilty of that. Very, very guilty of that. And now I'm just seeing it on the other side.
Yeah. So. And I think that's something that consistently when we've asked this question, that's been a similar response.
Oh, that's really cool.
Which is like, no, I'm going to cry because it's because we're all kind of feeling that, I think, especially those of us that have struggled so much through the last year, and like knowing that there's other people out there that feel the same way and have felt the kindness of others. It makes such a huge difference. And you have to think that, you know, when we come out of this, that we're all going to come out better for it.
I hope so. We have to hope. Or people are going to have like that crazy, what is that phobia? Like people, agoraphobia? Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, people are going to have that. What is it? Agoraphobia. What did I say? Did I say acrophobia?
The only sober person knows what I'm saying.
The fear of
boo.
Okay, we have one more question for you.
And this one's probably going to be deeper too, so feel free to take your time.
It doesn't have to be.
What is your life philosophy?
Party.
Never mind, maybe it's not so deep. It's great. Thank you so much for watching.
Throw up and grow up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Totally.
No. I don't know. Party.
Yeah.
And have a good time. And make sure everyone is having a good time. Everyone party.
Totally. I think something that I noticed in this interview and also knowing you is that like you guys have actually a lot in common. Like the idea of the entrepreneurial spirit is like it goes further than that, and it's like it's the caring for the people around you. And I think to go along with what you said earlier, like the kindness will blossom that way, because if you're able to affect one person, even if it's a customer, even if it's a student, even if it's just a person you meet sometimes, you have that ability to like kind of grow through them, and it's like paying it forward in a way. So I think I really respect and care for people like you guys that are like so giving, and I don't perceive myself like that, but I see it and I go, maybe I can do that too. You know,
one of the things when we were starting to talk about, you know, who we were going to have as guests, we really want to have guests. Who do we want to talk to? And before you'd ever commented on our podcast post or anything, we were already talking about it would be so amazing.
Yeah.
To talk to Dottie.
Legit.
Because
thanks, guys.
I feel like we've never had this chance to like.
It's always been work.
Yeah,
like
in passing. Yeah,
show up and work, lady.
Yeah, but you know, it's so nice to even if it is, you know, with a microphone and a camera and all this, a chance to actually have a conversation with somebody who I see from afar and I admire from afar and feel like a kindred spirit from afar. So thank you
Thank
so
you
much
guys
for wanting to hang out with us today and making us these beautiful drinks.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh my God, it was so awesome. So in closing, where can people find Til-Two Club merch, and how can they send money to you for things?
Send us some money. So we are still a glorified liquor store. So if you're ever in town and wanting some rare bottles, you can always come in and just pick it up. We are now open every day, 4 to midnight this week, and we are moving to 4 to 2 next week, which is crazy. And
Back to the namesake.
yeah, we'll see if my bartenders can still work to that long.
Yeah, it was like 8 o'clock last night, and I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Is that what website is that?
Til-Two Club, you can just jump on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
We
can
love
find
it.
these really cute sweaters that she
Yeah.
has on right here.
And if you listen to a podcast, it's a great sweater.
Yes.
Shirt and design that is on person's chests.
And they're topless.
Yay! We said it. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you,
been
guys.
such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts. Help rate and review us. It helps out with the algorithm. It helps out to help us be seen more. Please visit Til-Two-Club.com or
Yes.
whichever thing and buy some shirts, buy some stuff, because it helps support local communities and local entrepreneurs.
And support live performances
Yeah.
and music and venues and bars and small businesses.
Big
Yes.
time, big time. If you feel
Perfect.
safe enough to go out, like, go for it. The world is a little bit scary, but sometimes when you're like with around other like-minded people like that, it can actually be very heartwarming and amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.